Hey, howdy-ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions Power Podcast, episode 290. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit, and I'm still sober, I promise. We're doing it live. I'm your host, Chris, and with me is my good friend and co-host, Andy. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm as I expected to be.
Your face gives it all away. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about today's game. We're going to take you around a little bit of roundtable. We'll talk about our thoughts on the game and what we saw today. And of course, as always, we'll be taking your calls, that and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Sam, man, you ready to go, brother?
Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
All right, a couple of really quick announcements. First, check us out and help us out on the Patreon. Special thanks to Dylan from
Guam.
Oh, gosh, that's right. Of course, our very first donor, Mathis, and Brian B. from I Prevail, iprevailband.com. Check them out. They got great stuff. Album coming out first part of 2021, which will be a better year, I promise. Head on over to patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. You can then join the Patreon crew. As little as $1 a month donated gets you into our Slack chat, which is what you need right now. After this therapy session, you're going to need the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet, because everywhere else is going to be bad. It's not slappies. It's not everyone saying, hey, it's okay, guys, we're going to win. No, it's just intelligent, thoughtful, and respectful chat. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. You can give more than $1 because you appreciate it too. Just think about that. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Get signed up now and take advantage of that. Also, give us a like on Facebook, Facebook.com/The Detroit Lions Podcast. Instagram, Detroit Lions Podcast. And on Twitter, DET Lions Podcast. Follow us at DET Lions Podcast, please, because it's the very best place to see Andy
with no pants on.
Oh, very nice. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. And I have to say, there is a new YouTube channel that we opened up just yesterday. It's DLP Clips. check that out. We're giving you all the Cliff's Notes version of what's going on on the show. We're making it easier to digest in little chunks, and refer back to the stuff that you want if you don't have time. Sometimes we don't have all the time we need, and that's a great way to get at the show. You can right now. We got to get the URL taken care of, but you can go to bit.ly/DLP Clips, and that'll get you right to the YouTube channel. All right, rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you find us. We love those 5-star reviews. If you find yourself wanting to click anything else that isn't 5 stars, hit us up on the subreddit. Tell us why. We want to know. We absolutely want to know and see if we can make it right. Rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you find us. Do that. 5 stars. Okay, I think that covers it. Let's talk about today's wonderful game. You know, COVID could have prevented this.
Tighten your chin straps, kids. It's time to review This Week in Reddit.
All right, it's time to talk about all the fun and exciting things going down this week in Reddit. I challenge you guys to say that fast, especially when you're drinking. It didn't work when I was drinking. Let's talk about it. What a game. We only lost by 6 points today to the stellar Saints team. Obviously a Super Bowl contender there in New Orleans. There is no shame in today's game, right, Andy?
Oh yeah. Zero shame. You know, it's the Saints team. You know, they always run for 200 yards and score 5 touchdowns in a row, and you know, play with 8 starters missing if you include guys that they lost mid-game. Yeah, just normal stuff for the Saints. Just Super Bowl bound.
Yeah, for sure. They are all over that. The depth that they showed. So let's talk about first the double-digit lead we gave up. Why wait till the fourth quarter?
Do it in the first 7 minutes.
28.
Get it over with.
Well, it was 28 unanswered points, right? Or was it 35 unanswered points?
35.
Yeah. God, that stung. That really, really hurt. Tough game to watch. I know there's a lot of unhappiness right now about. Oh, hey Matt, thanks, man. Unhappiness about the Patricia situation. We can talk about that some more. We'll take your calls like always. I have to give Matt a shout out for his super chat. He almost took a nap instead of watching that, and he just couldn't. It may have been the better deal. I mean, but how else? I tweeted that. I can't think of a better way to spend my Sunday. Thanks for that super
nice
chat,
Sunday.
man. Yeah, God, that was just a stunner. That was an absolute stunner. I expected the Lions to do better when we had that 14-point lead. Credit to my wife. She said, "This is the Lions. That means nothing." And I was like, "I know, but we started off pretty good here. This is we came out of the chute. We never come out of the chute strong. We never come out of the chute strong, and here we are." And then that was it. We went to sleep.
That was all she wrote.
Let's talk about the play. I am first and foremost, and people probably aren't going to like it, but this is going to lead to a question. Putting this on the shoulders of Matthew Stafford. We knew this was going to be a shootout game. This is going to be an offensive game based on both teams' defenses, and his balls were all over the place today. He just couldn't do it. He could not deliver a ball for the life of him. I love Matthew Stafford. I've said it a lot. He's a great guy for the community, a great human being, but it's time to start asking the question, is this not shaking rust anymore? Is this a different Matthew Stafford after the injury? And if so, is this the Matthew Stafford that's going to carry this team next year and for a couple years forward? So you guys can give us a call, 248-782-8384. Happy to talk about that, talk about the game. And again, it's a therapy session. We can talk about the coaching staff and when they need to go as well. If you want, give us a call. Andy, I know it wasn't only Matthew, right? The defense did not get any stops for a long time. It was expected that they wouldn't. They did start out with an interception, though. But do you want to ramrod the D while you got a chance?
I'm gonna ramrod everybody. Everybody. This was not a one stage fail game. We're talking about the Saints putting up 35 points in a row. Obviously, that's on the defense. But we have to talk about how when Stafford had time, people were still not open. Now, obviously, the TV cams don't show us what's happening downfield or whatever, but he was looking downfield. You know, he had a couple plays where he had 3+ seconds to throw, and nobody was open against the Saints team that had no defensive backs, that are the worst in the league against tight ends. Either this was one of the most horrifically game-planned games of all time, or everything failed. And it's hard to put that, on one particular person. But Stafford looked out of it. You could tell that, he was either trying too hard or was trying to force balls into spots that balls shouldn't be put into.
The Jesse James catch was an absolute, just a Hail Mary, right? It was just a Hail Mary for 15 yards, right?
Yeah, that's like 2011, 2012 Stafford is what that play looked like.
Yep.
But we had a couple throws that, like we had 2 wide receivers in the same spot multiple times this week.
Yep.
Like, how does that happen? Is that schemed? Are we allowing players to freelance out there and they're all running in the same direction? This whole game from top to bottom, outside of special teams, garbage.
Absolutely. All right, caller, what's your name? How many have you had to drink?
This is Mo from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Hey, Mo, how you doing, man?
All right. Currently live in Atlanta, so I'm amongst all these sorry Falcons fans. So,
I got 2 guys I know down there in Atlanta that you can hook up and get the Lions bar together with.
Yeah, man. Stafford, love him, hate him. Those passes, it's like when they connect, it's like, woo, he dropped a dime. But then the one in the end zone where it's like, oh, why did you throw it? You could just ran and got to like the 5 or 4 yard line. So it's just one of those things, man. It's like, Stafford, I love you, but I hate you at the same time.
Yeah. He's always been a risky kind of quarterback, right? He's put balls in places that I love saying that. Absolutely. Like, I got to say it again.
Say it a few more times for the people in the back.
He's putting balls in places that no one ever thought you could. And you talk about Stafford windows, right? You're putting the balls in the window so everyone can see how great you are. I'm 12. I'm sorry. No, he's been amazing, but with those stellar plays, God, sometimes it's just horrific to see. Just horrific to see.
I mean, the one downfall of Stafford his entire career is trying to do too much. When he had all those interceptions back in the day, it was him forcing balls that he didn't need to force. Jim Caldwell came in, kind of fixed that. Got him calmed down a little bit. Hey, we don't need to win it on every play, sort of mentality. But what we're seeing is kind of a regression back to that, and it doesn't help when you know for a fact that your defense is going to put you in a tough spot, where if you don't score and score often, you're out.
I was going to say that same exact thing. I love the offense. I think Stafford can get us down the field. I like the scheme. I think we can put points up on the board, but it's just our offense has to play mistake-free football, because our defense, when they get on the field, it's like the other team is going to score, and so that puts it all on Stafford and the offense again.
Yep, and I hate saying this because I hate it when people say it like, oh, if we had made this one catch, we would have won the game or whatever. But this is one of those games where if we had won, and you just look back at Stafford's, passing line, it's not horrible. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick,
only lost by 6.
Maybe wasn't that great, but tons of yards.
Only lost by 6.
I mean, and that's the thing, is that, it's hard to say, how bad somebody is playing based on just stats, but he definitely hasn't been passing the eyeball test lately.
It's the defensive scheme, like Kamara and the other running back, forgot his name, but they were dragging the defense. Like every time they shot up the middle.
I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable watching this defense. It looked like a high school team getting carried by Adrian Peterson. Like the bus came back and was playing a middle school team. Guys just holding on to his coats, getting dragged behind him.
I don't know if you guys got nervous, but every time Breeze went into play action and he cocked that thing back, I was like, I know somebody's open. Somebody's open.
and I'm not trying to scratch a scab here, but I'm known to do that every now and then. Most of the time we were in zone when that happened.
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out quick to Panda Mine. Jim Caldwell, please come home. I promise to treat you right.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm about ready to wear a T-shirt that says #say his name with Jim Caldwell and his name on the back.
Damn.
I'm going to have that shirt up in our merch store by the end of the week. I promise you.
I'll buy that from Fanatics.
I will put that shirt up in the merch store this week. Say his name. Picture Caldwell's face. That is good. That is really good. Oh, man. Oh, Mo, you kill me.
But I have to say that this is the first Sunday that I watched the whole Lions game through, because for the past 6 years I had to watch it on Red Zone because I just cannot watch a whole Lions game. So I was like, Red Zone just saves me because I have to turn the channel at third quarter when you put up 35 points. I'm like, I got to turn from this. You guys are making me sick.
What's it going to take to get you to be able to watch a whole game again? I mean, would you have to have a Super Bowl season, or would it have to be playoffs? I mean, seriously, I'm asking not to pick on you, right? But there, you speak for many people right now, and I'm wondering what's it going to take to bring you back, right?
You know what it was when we put it on Kyler Murray last week, and it was like I thought Kyler Murray was just going to run circles around us, but when we got the interceptions and we were containing them, I truly thought that we could beat the Saints. And I was like, because of last week, I think our defense is waking up, and I think we're gonna go in. And then we got 14-0, and then it was like
Well, that's what the Lions do to you, right?
Last week was like the booster for me.
Yeah, that's what they do. They win week 3 under Matt Patricia every year, get your hopes up, and then background.
They're the bullshit.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mo, I'm going to let you go, man. I'm going to let some other folks call in. All right, bro?
All right. Thanks. Nice talking with you guys.
You too, man.
You too.
Always good to have you. Thank you for calling. All right, Mo. That's awesome. All right, there you go. See, that's part of the therapy, right? We can be angry at the team and frustrated with it, but don't let them rip your insides out. It's not fair to you. It's not healthy. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink?
I don't drink.
Do you want to start?
This is D. I spoke to you guys last week.
Oh yeah.
How you doing?
I wish I did.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm a little depressed, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, honestly, a couple of things for you guys. Look, the only losing by 6 points, I mean, that's just, it's misleading.
It's a bullshit line.
The Saints were protecting the lead, yeah, just like that. I told you guys last week, Stafford doesn't look the same. I'm telling you, that back injury, I don't think it's rust. I really think that he's not the same person. I mean, his first pass to Kenny G was off, and overthrows Peterson and overthrows Jones or underthrows Hall. We don't know which one. I mean, they're both right there.
Right.
Underthrows Hawk in the end zone. I mean, when he got the interception, I just I'm not understanding what's going on with this guy. And I know last week you guys said you thought it was rust, but I mean, do you really think it's rust at this point?
I've been on this a bit since actually week 1. Because he just hasn't looked right, and everyone was like, "Yeah, no, week 1 he's just shaking the rust off." We're mad about the Chicago game, but it's just rust. Or there's so many other things to look at that went wrong, right? And then week 2 started asking, and even in this week, all the way through the game preview with Tony and Riz, I'm like, "Are we sure this is rust? Are we really sure this is we're like game 3? That's game 3 of the preseason. By then, all the rust should be gone, right? I mean, we should be able to see what we got." Yeah. This is the week, and it's like it was either he's going to break out this week or we're going to see what we got. And I think this is what we got. I think this is Matthew Stafford right now, and it scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me because we need him to win. Period. He was the only chance we had against.
We live on his arm.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the wide receivers aren't getting enough separation, for anybody. But that's what Stafford needs to do, and he's not doing it.
Yeah,
and I don't know that there's another quarterback that can survive with those wide receivers. The interceptions are going to be off the charts because they can't put a ball in there like Stafford can. What did I see? He was like third or fourth strongest arm in the NFL since like 1950 or something like that, or in the something crazy. Like just his arm is like nobody else's. And I was thinking about that watching what was it, the Monday night game. Patrick Mahomes, watching him be able to just kind of touch pass a ball, right, and throw it over the top of defenders, and then sky drop it into somebody's arms in stride, and I'm like, you never ever see that from Matthew. It's always on a rope, and that's why hands hit balls, and he breaks Buda Baker's hands. But that's he just doesn't get air under that ball and put it over the top of that front line, the front seven, and drop it in on guys, and that hurts. His great arm is a huge benefit, but it, like anything, if everything's a hammer, or if all you got's a hammer, everything's a nail. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Hey, Michael, thank you so much. Michael H. got some Jaeger set aside for me, buddy. I will be over shortly. I'm not going to be able to keep doing this no drink thing if the Lions keep doing this. They're going to murder me.
Man, I'm telling you.
Man.
And you know what? The thing is, though, we could have won this game. I mean, the defense didn't force a punt until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Like, are you serious?
Yep.
Even with all the mistakes, even with the drops, the overthrown balls, we still could have won this game. If they could have just got some stops. I know you say Matt P is going to be a great coach somewhere if he doesn't make it here, but I think he's a below average coach. I think he's stubborn, and he's going to fire himself. It's time to change things up.
Yeah.
This defense is not working.
Yep, and this is a thing that really, and Andy doesn't feel a whole lot of confidence. But you look at the next 6 games. We should win 5 of the 6. We got the Jags, the Falcons, the Colts, the Vikings, the Washington football team, and the Panthers. We should be able to take 5 out of those 6 if we were any other year Lions team, right? And you start thinking, if all of a sudden, say we just take 5 out of those 6, then we're what, 6-3 at that point, 6-4 at that point. You're not going to be getting rid of your coach. You're looking at meaningful games in December. You still got the Texans, Bears, Packers, Titans, Buccaneers, and Vikings to go. You can win 2 of those, right? Now all of a sudden you're 8-8. Does that keep this coach? That's where I think the real, people are saying fire him now. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I just don't. For the team, for getting the right talent next time, and just for the growth of a lot of these players, I don't think that's the right thing. Right now is not the time to do it, but I think a lot of people are right. People that really, really, really want him to go more than they want to win, because those people are out there. We've seen them. We talked about them in the weekly show on Tuesday last week or this week. There's people that want the coaches and the GM gone more than they want to see the Lions win this year. If you're 8-8 at the end of the year, it makes it really kind of hard to get rid of them. You could do 9-7 with Caldwell, right? Maybe you're handing off another team that maybe can go somewhere under a different coach. I don't know. But if you're a fire Patricia person that's absolutely 100% on that train, you want it now. You want it absolutely now, because these next couple games are almost hand-me-gimmes. And let's face it, if he loses, 3 of those 6 games, absolutely he's out, right? There's no question about it. These are the must-win games. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I keep giving this guy chances, man. I wanted him to be successful. Because I want the team to be successful. But if he refuses to change, what can you do? And then he does dumb stuff like that challenge earlier, and then didn't challenge the one later in the game that he should have challenged.
Yeah.
I saw that. Everyone saw that guy was clearly down.
How did you
before
feel?
The ball came out.
How did you feel when he went for the 2 points?
I think it was a mistake, but that was me. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
You're getting ahead of yourself a little too much there. If you do miss that, then you can't even.
Then you have to get the 2 point the next time. You have to get the 2. You have to.
No matter what. Yeah.
I like it. I like the ballsy move. I don't think I would have done it. Right. I don't think it's the right move or the smart move. It worked out. Right. Except the game wasn't long enough to see him turn into something. But it was an interesting call. So. Hey, man, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for calling. I really appreciate it. I can't disagree with you. I'll put it that way, as much as I want to, right?
I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. We'll see you, brother. All right.
Yeah, I would be interested to look and see how many punts the Lions have forced this year. I'm sure somebody could find that relatively quickly. But, this defense is just not built to get off the field. And as crazy as that is to say, this is the defense that they wanted. This is the defense that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn built. You can't say that he doesn't have his players or whatever. It's year 3. You've had plenty of time to draft dudes, to get guys in here. You know, you're drafting DeAndre Swift instead of defensive tackles, defensive ends. You know, for your defense, you think your defense is fine the way it is. But when you don't get sacks and you don't get pressures,
you get what you fucking deserve.
And people just stand back there and people get 5 yards of rush, it's impossible. It's impossible. This team is not built to win. They're not going to win. That's just the way it goes. I think, honestly, after rewatching the Cardinals game last week, it just became more apparent that the Cardinals had a horrific game plan. Horrific. They didn't do anything. They literally played a game straight into this defense's
strength.
If
you call it that. And what's even funnier is watching Carolina this week disassemble the Cardinals. All of a sudden, it makes that win a little less meaningful, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. All right. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink?
Oh, Alex, and I'm already dumb enough to be a Lions fan. I don't need to drink to add to it.
I think it's we have a follow up. No, that's cool. Usually, you know, in the post game shows, we get a lot of folks that have been drinking that call in. That's where that whole thing started. But I think like the people that are drinking have like just absolutely crashed. They're like passed out on the couch somewhere right now in sheer pain, and it's only the people that remain sober to power through this. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. I just want to, you know, what I noticed about, you could feel the ebb and flow of that game. And, like, Stafford almost had 3 interceptions before he threw that one. Really, he's lucky he didn't get picked off the 3 throws before, you know. And I'm just like, I don't, you know, he's getting older in years and whatnot. And I think he might just be burned out in Detroit. Like, you know, I think there's the stuff with the COVID and everything, everybody's kind of down and everybody's mad, and you know, I think the locker room soured in there, and like they felt like they were gonna lose, and you could see his temper coming out and trying to force things, and you know, we used to say that we loved angry Stafford, but you know, as other things change, and maybe he just doesn't have that same thought process he used to, anyways, and then. I don't know. When they were up by 14, you know, I was willing to let all bygones be bygones and keep the coaching staff. But, you know, when they, you know, I'm not mad at them. I don't have any. It's nothing personal, but they got to win. And looking at the season later this year, you know, it looks like the season might get easier. You know, and if they draft a quarterback and they stick around and they give it a chance, you know, I like stability. I don't think there's anything wrong with stability. I think that. I wanted to give them more time, but, you know, they got to go at least 8-8, you know, and if they want to draft a quarterback, or if the Jets get rid of Sam Darnold or whatnot, you know, maybe pick up someone like that and, you know, try it one more year because of the COVID thing. You know, I'm not mad at them. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
Well, and here's the thing. The Jets are getting Trevor Lawrence. Let's just solve this problem right now. The Lions, as bad as the Lions are, they're not going to out Lions the Jets this year. It's they've got Trevor Lawrence. So it's, what do you want to do with your 2nd overall or 3rd overall pick in the draft again is where you're at when you think about this team right now. So I think we have Matthew Stafford this year and next year, and I'm worried about what we are going to replace him with, because we need an epic failure year to get a real replacement for him. And with, I don't know, beyond Trevor Lawrence, who's the top guys. Maybe you can hit me in the chat. I really get started at that after the season ends and get into like the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, which I can't wait for, by the way. I'm already stoked for what are we going to build.
Well, you know, that's the thing that we should talk about, is how the college season is all, you know, funky this year.
Yep.
Like, are we really seeing what players are going to look like? And of course, this is the year that is potentially a transitional year for the Lions, and it's going to be a weird ass college year where who knows who's number 2. Like, we could say Justin Fields could be number 2, but quarterbacks are always a crapshoot.
Yeah,
it always makes me nervous to draft a quarterback, but you know. And of course, this is the year the Lions get it. You know, the same thing that the Lions get the number 2, the number 1, the number 2 pick right as the salary cap, cap is being put on.
Yeah.
The Lions have half their money tied up in 3 players.
Yeah.
Classic Lions. Perfect timing every time.
Yeah. Hey, Psychedelic Monk 313. Thank you so much. This bud is for the Lions fans. I got a hit to where'd he go in the chat? It was a good one. There he is. Own you, Eisenhart. We really need Penasini to start pounding it in there and start sticking it in the O-line's face. He's always been bringing those jokes. I can't let him go by without he's mentioning one of them. Yeah, I don't even know, man. This team, this coaching staff, how do you build out of what we see in college today? This is going to be, it's tough, obviously, because of COVID. It wrecked a lot of stuff for football. The college season is a mess. At least the Big Ten, I guess, is still playing. There's going to play now, and we'll be able to see some players there. But how this all unwinds into the NFL draft next year, like you said, it's always a crapshoot with quarterbacks, and then you wind up spending 3 years on those experiments that are crapshoots before you can really check out and say they failed. And it's always this thing where you spend all this time, is Sam Darnold a better quarterback than the team he plays for, right? Would Sam Darnold thrive at the Lions? Well, that's going to be a tough sell for fans and sponsors and everything else, right? So, okay, let's go to the well and we'll draft, Justin Fields. All right, we bring him in. You got 3 years. Now, is it a coaching problem or is it a quarterback problem, right? You wind up in the same boat. And it really, it seemed like bringing this coaching staff in and the experience and the GM, the whole search that they did, everybody praised Bob Quinn as a GM coming in, right? It was just unanimous across the NFL. To get this result is it's so disheartening. It is so disheartening because you start looking at coaches out there. I do go, like I said, I go back to Crennel, to Andy Reid, successful 11-win season out of garbage time for the Chiefs. Maybe Mike Singletary could bring something like that. Singletary. Eric Bieniemy. Why did I say Mike Singletary? Could bring something like that to the Lions. Who knows, right? You're still bringing the distilled version, or maybe it's not distilled, the watered down version, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and you have to think about it, is that the Lions, when they hired Matt Patricia, they were hiring a coach to win now. He wasn't a let's see what happens coach. He wasn't a we need to change things coach. He was brought in to win now. And when your win now coach doesn't work out, you ride the wave up to get your win now coach. And when your win now coach fails, you dump.
Yep.
And so that's my fear, is that because of our bye week being this upcoming week, week 5, it's a little early. If they don't fire Patricia during this bye week, then he's riding it out. But when you have a coach that's riding it out, you're not doing the things potentially you need to do to start the rebuild process the way you need to start it. If we're talking about trading Stafford at the deadline to a team that has an injured QB but that's still in the hunt and just needs somebody that's talented, if we're talking about trading anybody off this team in that scenario, can you really do it when you have a lame duck head coach and a lame duck GM still sitting here? Are they really going to do what's best for the team when they know they're going to get fired at the end of the year? And they're definitely not going to trade Stafford if they're trying to win, if they plan on staying. It just kind of creates a cycle of bullshit that's like impossible to get out of. And I'm afraid that that's where we're going to get stuck, and our rebuild is going to be slow.
Well, that's where the keep the GM and dump the coach kind of mindset might come in. So that you're making the right quote unquote moves on that. And I say in that situation, I would just hammer down on November 1st being around the date, the trade deadline being the 29th of October. That gives you all the leeway you need as a GM to bring the people in. You let your coach go on the right after that, and you move on. That's I still and then you've satisfied what you said the reality is of meaningful games in December, because right around November 1st is when you're mathematically eliminated. So all the things come together at that point to where, like I said, I point to that date. I've said it for weeks, and when I'm right, you guys are not going to hear the end of that. All right, caller, what's your name? How much you had to drink? Caller.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, geez, I didn't think I'd get through here. No, I'm not a football coach. I was so frustrated today. Different schemes, different whatever, but it's come down to you just can't tackle anybody. I mean, they don't even have to worry about passing. I mean, this guy's getting 5, 6, 7 yards of crack. It's like adjustments, whatever. It comes down to, can't you tackle these guys and put them down? That's my insight into today. Your thoughts, please.
Yeah.
The worst.
For a coach that talks about fundamentals, the fundamental of 5, 6, 7 yards after contact is the part that's the worst. They cannot tackle on defense at all.
This is like the worst tackling team I've seen since 2009, and I would have said 2008, but 2009 comes after that. Because I just have never seen a defensive line get pushed 2-3 yards off the ball every single play. They were getting pushed off the ball during passing plays. Our defensive ends were 10 yards away from the quarterback. It's unreal watching our defensive line get their backs turned to the ball, and just our linebackers are already on the line of scrimmage, so when the running back breaks through the first line, he's into the third line. Tracy Walker, I'm sure, led the team in tackles again today because our safeties had to do all the tackling. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable. This game is
no
crazy.
pressure on the quarterback. It's just it's so pathetic. Like you say, I'm gonna live and die a Lions fan. It's in your blood. Yeah. But my God, where's the bleeding stop here? But thanks, guys. I appreciate you letting me taking the call.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too. Oh God, no, I know exactly where he is. Right. Feel the same way. All right. Loretto Martin, he's asking, where's my CBD oil? Let me tell you about it. It's at cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. That's exactly where it was. He gave me a super chat to do this read. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not just physical pain. There's emotional pain that needs help. You can get sidestep some anxiety with the help of your CBD, but let's face it, the Lions give you the situation where you need the relief from the pain more than ever, and CBD is the way to do it. After workouts, if you want to get yourself some sleep, if you got just recurring pain, they've got this great CBD cream that you can rub on areas areas that are hurting. Sorry, I was jumping ahead in my mind. That's why I just stopped talking.
Areas.
Yeah, yes. Got a great review about the cream from one of the guys in Slack. He's had some back problems for a long time, and he's been using it, and he's like absolute relief out of it. He absolutely loves it. My wife uses it. She's got some tendonitis stuff in her thumb, and it's helping a lot. I've used it on my back. It's great. I love the cream. It really works great for localized pain. And then these are for more generalized pain that you have, like after a Lions legal in all 50 states, unlike Sandman's background. These gummies are awesome. Now, these are super powerful. They definitely will make you chill. It's part of their Delta 8 line. They also have the oil. I got that over here. I'm still sticking with the gummies on that. I've got an open thing of the other oil. Oh, it doesn't go. There it is. There you go. Full spectrum Delta 8. This is the best stuff they got. I'm telling you, the most potent stuff they've got over there. I've used some of the Yum gummies, some of the other oils, and it's all working. It's all great. But this stuff is like next level if you're looking for the power. cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. Get your stuff over there. It's great shipping. It's great product. Great product information comes with every shipment, and a 50% off card for your next purchase comes with it. So cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. Support the show, and we get a little kickback. I got to tell you that. So we get a little kickback when you go buy that, but you're gonna be happy you did something. Support the show by supporting your own mental and physical health. Yeah, cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. Say, man, you are a superstar, man. You are absolute Hollywood, man. You have everything,
ready to go.
Every background for every occasion. It is awesome. Sorry for the you can rub it in your brain area, Loretta. Oh God. Okay, let's go. We got a caller here. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink so far? I'm going to actually eat one of these CBDs while we're sitting here.
What's going on? This is Q, aka Perry Poppy. I had a lot of orange juice. I don't drink, so that's like me walking on the wild side.
Yeah. Well, you're training again, right? You're getting ready for another fight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when I'll fight, but I mean, I'm training. I may be training to play for the Lions. Oh man,
we need you.
You're the only one that suits up every week.
We need warm bodies.
Man, it's rough, man. I've never said this, but I mean, after watching this game, either Stafford is slumping or he's declining.
Yep.
Because at this point, it's 4 straight weeks of him missing throws. I don't know, man. And if Stafford's on a decline, it's just time to blow this thing up. I really think they should fire Patricia and Quinn right now. I know it's probably not logical to fire Quinn, but I just feel like Patricia has to go.
Yeah, and let me ask you why now. Okay, and that's I think it's a fair question because the benefit of doing it and the detriments of doing that are really what you want to weigh when you make a decision like that. So besides he sucks and he's doing a terrible job, right? I think we all agree on what the outcomes have been. But why now versus later?
Well, number one, because I'm upset.
I love myself some honesty.
Q, that absolutely, man. That's nobody ever freaking says that, and that is always the number one answer to that question. Thank you so much.
I probably won't feel this way tomorrow, but as of right now, I mean, also I just think let's just try something else. I get it. It's a bye week. You give them another chance, but I just don't see it. Like, I have faith that we could beat the Saints. We should have beat the Saints. Look what they did to us with 6 starters down. I think, who do we play after the bye? Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Don't know if we could beat Jacksonville. Like, we can't stop anybody.
Oh, we can beat Jacksonville.
Man, we could beat Chicago as well.
Will we?
Beat Green Bay, Will we? It's just we can't. Our defense is so bad. It's like they can't tackle. It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's just so stubborn. Patricia, he doesn't want to. He would rather lose his way than try something different. But
that's the truth. That's the real truth, is that we see somebody running man so much, and we have players that can't run man, and then he runs zone at the weirdest times, and we get beaten zone, but he had to bring in his guys, and he has to run his defense, and it's just plain old not working. It's just not working. We've had this before where Terrell Austin's defense would look lost, but it was always a middle of the pack defense, even when it was bad. We haven't had even a register of a pulse on this defense in 3 years. It's awful.
I don't know what Corey Unlin is bringing to this defense, and that's the thing that we talked about when he was hired. Is okay. Stafford's Patricia's gonna let go of the reins of the defense. Corey Unlin's gonna take control. It'll probably be the same defense, but we're gonna see a lot of work on that front line. That's what we expected, is to see an improved line.
Some wrinkles.
Yeah. We've gotten all bad wrinkles. Every wrinkle had lint and maybe some dead skin and maybe some other gross
wrinkles. Yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah.
God. So Q, I mean, you got your money back for the season tickets, right?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Because you said, and when you called him before, you said you re-upped, you were going to buy them, and then you're like kicking yourself over it, but they canceled.
Yeah, they gave us that redo.
Yeah.
But the thing, I saw something yesterday where the governor, I guess, they her executive order was like overruled by the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
But after losing like this, I don't even want to go. Like, that's a lot of money to go fly up there, hotel, all that stuff, just to not even be competitive,
Yeah, no, yeah. I see, you're like my superhero. You know what I mean? Watching you fly up there every week for a game with season tickets is just like the ultimate commitment, and I just felt like it was like in what was it? It was just like when Superman's getting hit by the kryptonite, right? You're like, no, Superman. I'm like, no, Q, come on.
It's like Superman choosing to go directly head first into the kryptonite.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, yeah. So Q, I'm sorry, man. I'm glad it worked out financially. It's probably a good year to take a break, but this is something, I think this feels like a real shakeout kind of year for the Lions. Kind of, you think about it like in the terms of the stock market, right? People get shook out when you get a dip and a decline in the market. This is, I think, going to shake a lot of fans from the team, and I got to do this week. I got to go in. I've got a theory about the kind of trajectory of a Lions fan and how they start out and they grow and grow and grow until they wind up dropping off the cliff on the other side and being Uncle Eddie, right? I mean, the one that everybody who is a Lions fan today hates It's that guy who's always like, oh, you're watching the Lions. Oh, how they gonna lose? They'll never be any good till the Ford sell. The whole line of whatever, right? The same stuff over and over. But those people used to be fans generally, and they've been through the ringer already. And there's an element of 1,000-yard stare and folksy wisdom that comes out of them that until you get past the bottom of the Kool-Aid glass, you're probably not going to really feel.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go. But one thing, so when I don't go to the games, I watch them at Twin Peaks here in Atlanta. There's like one other Lions fan, he's an older guy. I think he's like 57. And he just has no tolerance. Like, I always save him and see everything. The first mistake they make, he leaves. And this has been years. I've been down here 7 years. The first I haven't seen him yet this season, but the first mistake they make, he just leaves.
Oh,
like
man.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
but he's from Detroit, lifetime Lions fan, all of that.
Yeah. It does it to you. It does it to you, man. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than the beginning of October and you've given up on the team. You know what I mean? It's just so frustrating because you spend all this time thinking about it and loving them and believing in them, and then you just get this slap in the face, and that's what it feels like this year watching this team. It's just an absolute slap in the face because if you carried hope at all into the season and you're right here at this bye week right now with what we've seen. I mean, how do you carry that? How do you take that from here about this team, right? I mean, you almost, and I hate to say it, right? In October, I never want to root for the team to lose, but it is really like we're playing for a draft pick now, right? And we wind up 8-8.
Yeah.
You may wind up keeping your coach, which is its own set of whatevers. But you're not going to draft worth a shit either, right? You're going to wind up 17, 15, 13 somewhere in there drafting. I mean, it's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't see 8-8 at all. Like I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
this is bad.
It is. I believe 8-8. It's doable after the Cardinals game. I think it is. I think they're absolutely inconsistent, though, and you don't know what you're going to get week to week. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people who said we were coming into this bye week 1-3, and here we are 1-3. Everyone thought we were going to win over the Bears, though, and then lose Packers, Cardinals, Saints. Right? Winds up we flipped the win to a different team. We're kind of where we thought. We stumbled into it, but it's these wild ass. In the Bears game, no confidence. The Packers game was an embarrassment. The Saints game could have been an embarrassment, but they came back a little bit just to make the final score look like it was something. The game was something it wasn't. But, I mean, I feel like seeing what they did against the Cardinals, I think we can beat the Jags, the Falcons, and I think it gives us a whole new, different conundrum. But I will go to the November 1st thing. In November 1st, we play the Colts, okay? And that was my date that I guessed. If we lose against the Jags or the Falcons, that red light is flashing on Patricia's dashboard. I'm telling you right there. That's the one that's just like you might as well punch out now, buddy, because this plane's going down.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you guys go. I just think to get spanked 2 out of the 4 games, I didn't see that coming.
No.
Like just to totally not even be competitive in 2 of the 4 games.
Man.
That's crazy.
Hey, are you going to go to the game in Atlanta by chance?
If they have fans, after all that I just said, I work for a financial firm. I think our firm has season tickets. Oh. So if they have fans, I'm there. But yeah,
if you can squeeze if you can squeeze an extra one, let me know.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
All right,
man. I'll call in 2 weeks after we lose, man.
All right,
take care.
All right, cute. We'll touch you, bro. All right. Hey, caller. What? Oh, wait, we gotta get him in. There we go. Hey, caller. What's your name? How much you had to drink?
Otter, and I'm a Detroit Lions fan from Florida.
From where did you say?
Well, I used to live in Michigan. I live down in Florida, but my name is Otter.
Otter.
P-E-R. Yeah.
All right.
How you doing, brother? How you like Florida?
Good. But the reason I'm calling for because I heard Matt Patricia's after game interview, and he was talking about being able to teach the basics and stuff. And I guess between him and Quinn, these guys, I mean, they got a lot of veterans on the team, right?
Right.
So what do they have to teach them the fundamentals? That's what I don't understand. It's not like it's a team of rookies. I think, 1 or 2, maybe 3 rookies starting?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that many. Yeah, it's we're at the point now where that kind of talk just doesn't turn any dials. That doesn't work when you've got veterans on your D line that look like garbage, that look like they don't know how to anchor. It looks like their first time playing defensive tackle. And you can say that maybe that's on coaching, but I think this is where the indictment of Patricia and Quinn comes in. Is that they're bringing in dudes that don't really help.
I would give more of this to Quinn than I would Patricia. You know what I'm saying? Because it's between Sheldon and Collins and all those guys. Why does Patricia have to say, "Hey, we got to teach better fundamentals on tackling"? Why even say that? I mean, these guys they've been in the league for years. And then to see somebody like a Slay go and I excuse me, but I forgot the lineman's name. He left, right?
Robinson.
Really good lineman. Ragnar or whatever, that's been around for a while.
Oh, Glasgow.
It's like, man. Yeah, so if I want to go Lions, why would I want? Because they're not going to reward me if I do well over the years. It's not about the money at this time because they give. Yeah.
Yeah,
frustrating.
I'll tell you, there's a couple things that play into that press conference, and this is not letting him off the hook at all. So don't take it that way, okay? But just understand, they have to be there, right? He has to. It's the NFL rules, so he has to show up for the press conference. He doesn't want to be there. People, and he's getting pummeled, and rightfully so, right? He's getting questions that are hard. The way you get through that, it's just like, I'm only here so I don't get fined. I'm here to teach the fundamentals. We need to do the fundamentals. We need to learn how to tackle. We need to, those are just words to fill up the time until he hits his mark, and then he can walk out of there. That's. But
you know what? He's blaming the players, and it's, hey, it's time out. It's time I'm cleaning myself. It's not. Again, they've been in the league for so long. Collins and all those guys, they don't need to learn fundamentals. I can understand rookies, but anybody else beyond that, it just doesn't make sense. Unless they come, and these guys are coming from New England, which have been in playoffs and everything for a long time. So.
Yeah, you would think that they know how to tackle.
We would all hope
my thing is, I'd like to see Ford. I live down, like I said, down here in Florida. I would like to see the Ford sell the team to be to West Palm, Florida. It'll be called the West Palm Lions. I would love that. That'd be perfect.
Are you so you're down southeast Florida?
Yeah, I am.
South Florida, I guess, because there's no Southwest Florida really, except for the Gators.
Yeah. Well, there's Tampa. I mean, I don't know how Tampa did today, but I don't watch it.
Yeah,
the thing is, I can't get Lions on TV. I only get them on Sirius.
Yeah.
I listen to it.
So let me ask you something.
And then WJR as well is where I release.
Let me do a quick poll. We're talking about doing a Super Bowl party, obviously not with the Lions, but in Tampa. Would you come up for something like that? Hang out with some.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. We're talking about getting a bar and getting everybody to not social distance, and hopefully there's a vaccine by then. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, down here we're kind of open anyways already.
Yeah.
So.
Phase 3.
Absolutely. That'd be great. That'd be fun.
All right.
Miami last year. I mean, I probably should have went to it last year in Miami.
Yeah.
I was looking for tickets just in case Lions can make it, but at that time they're $300-$400 a piece.
Yeah, for sure. All right, brother, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna get rolling here, okay? All right, thanks for calling. Awesome. Talking about tickets, I'm not sure we're gonna have any available, but the place to get them would be on our St. Jude auction, the charity auction that's coming up. What a party that's going to be. Starting November 6th. Let me put the quick graphic up for everybody on the YouTube stream. Look at that. November 6th, we're going to have a 24-hour podcast-a-thon right here on YouTube, and it won't be set for the audio because nobody can make it through 24 hours of audio. But we're going to be doing 24 hours of broadcasting. We're going to have a number of players, some national celebrities, some big people calling in, working, got everything set up with St. Jude, waiting for the last piece of paper from them to make it fully official. Working with them to get some great people in, some great prizes. So November 6th starts at 9 a.m. November 6th, ends at 9 a.m. November 7th. We're going to have hourly giveaways to the highest donor every hour. You'll be able to use Super Chat to do that. And then we're also going to have sponsors each hour. But the charity auction, all the donated items, and we've got a bunch already. I got 2 Galladay jerseys, thanks to Mitch. I got some other good stuff coming in. ski cabin up in Colorado for a week. All available. Yeah, that would be a party. That's another one. Maybe we
the CBD is legal.
Well, it's
the real CBD.
Yeah, the THC. Charity auction goes 9th through the 18th. All kinds of great stuff. Like I said, says there single items valued at thousands of dollars available in this auction. Sandman picked up some nice stuff at our last auction. A Super Bowl used ball, correct?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
It was awesome. Looking for 25 grand, so if you guys can help us achieve it, we would love that. It's all going to St. Jude to help those kids. We want Christmas for the kids and set them up with some good stuff. So more to come on that. This continues to grow, and we continue to get more and more pieces of the puzzle together. We'll let you guys know about those. But November 6th, it's a Friday. Be ready all day. Get your businesses. If they can help sponsor an hour of the show, it's not super expensive. If they want to have, they have stuff they want to give away during the giveaways each hour, that'd be awesome too. And you can contact us via the Twitter or the website has a contact form, DetroitLionsPodcast.com. So St. Jude, Christmas for the kids. We want you folks to help us help them. All right. Let's keep rolling. Matthew Stafford, we hit on him. Jamal Agnew, he hasn't panned out. This is something, and I don't, COVID year, COVID year, we didn't get a lot out of camp, but I'm going to just complain about the reporting we got out of camp this year about everyone telling us how great Matthew Stafford looked.
He was playing against our defense. Let's be honest. That's the thing. That's the thing. He's throwing to wide open dudes. He's rushing for 50 yards during a scrimmage.
But the balls were on target, evidently, right? It was just still different. I mean, Matthew Stafford playing against our defense is still going to miss a bunch of passes the way he's been lately. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we missed out a lot on training camp being closed and having such a limited number of media kind of looking at this team this summer. We didn't get a real taste of what was coming. That hurt us a great deal. All right, callers, we're taking your calls. It's 248-782-8384, 248-782-8384, or if you want to use just Skype, you can Skype in using Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, and we'll get you on the show. We had, and the worst part about this loss, Andy, is we had a Redditor, LazyMan32, who had made a bet on Reddit that he was going to eat a ghost pepper if the Lions won, and that he was, and then he said he would do it on the show, and I was so excited.
Chris, you were so excited.
I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see it so bad, and then we were up 14. It's funny. I said, nothing's in stone, but things are looking good now. You're still up, right? He's like, yeah. He said, I had to throw away the ghost pepper though. I was like, oh no. He's like, but I got like a Carolina Reaper and what was the other one? A Scorpion.
Oh yeah.
Madagascar Scorpion or some shit. I don't remember. But yeah. I'll just grab one of those instead. I was like, holy cow, man, that's insane. Trinidad Scorpion. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I thought Madagascar. But yeah. So I was so stoked to see this guy's face melt off on screen, and we're not going to get it. But he did say he will make other bets as the year goes on, so we may still see this guy injure his insides. All right.
Maybe next time we need to get some more hot spicy food bets going on.
Yep.
For sure.
So I know you're on the Fire Patricia train, Sam. Are you on a fire him now?
Because it's the bye week, this is the week to do it. In my opinion, if they don't do it this week, it probably won't happen during the season, because this is the only time it would make sense. And I think I mentioned it earlier that having a week 5 bye kind of sucks in regards to firing your head coach, because it's a little early, possibly. I would argue that nothing's changed, that, you can say it's early in this year, but really when you look at his record as a whole and how the defenses look the same year after year, how everything seems to be the same, it's not a new problem that we're facing. It's the exact same ones we've been facing. I wouldn't be upset if he was fired at the bye. Yeah. But do I think he's going to be? Probably not, just because it's a week 5. If we had like a week 7 bye or a week 8 bye, 100%.
Yeah. I'm with you. If you fire him in the bye week, it's because you want to win, right? That's why you make that change. I don't think. I mean, on one hand, I say, okay, you're right. We could turn out a 9-7 season if we got a good coach, right? Do we think that's going to happen with a new coach on the bye week? Probably not. More than likely, we'll probably win a few more games with a new coach than we would with Patricia, and I think that hurts us. Actually, and I go again. So I get the idea of doing it a bye week, but I think you really want to salvage a season and believe you can salvage a season. I don't know who they put in there that they think they can salvage the season with, right?
Yeah, I think that you just put whoever you put Combs and
right, but
special teams coach, the only coach that's that his phase has been fantastic this year. Put him in.
I think
they would get Jack Fox in a quarterback.
Yeah,
he can punt the ball to the players.
Isn't Coombs like 28 years old? He's like a really young dude, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like 33 or something, 34.
I think what happens is you put someone and you probably win 3 more games than you would with Patricia. What's wrong with winning? Because this team isn't getting anything out of winning this year, except a worse draft pick. And you're gonna it's part of that rebuild that we talked about earlier. This team perpetually winds up in a bad place because it can't get that hard restart, and that's what it needs. It needs a hard restart. Again, which is why I kind of look to what Martha Ford said, and meaningful games in December, and that's why November 1st. I think mid-season firing, then if you're keeping your GM or not, right? So you can make your moves, you make your trades at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. You pull the team together, and you're not worrying about wins really at that point. Because generally, I mean, if you do it in the bye week, you're telling your players that you're checked in on the season, you believe you can do something, right? That's absolutely what you're saying to your players. You do it when you're not playing meaningful games in December. When you make that decision, you're hitting the reset button for those players. And what are they going to give for the rest of the year? Right, probably what they gave at the end of last year. We'll probably see a lot of that. A lot of guys sitting out with more minor injuries than they otherwise would have, saving themselves, whatever. It's probably better for the team. I mean, in my mind, I've written this team off for this year. I've written this season off. Like I said, we could wind up 8-8. But it's still. I mean, there is an extra.
And Matthew Oliver in the chat said, if there's a season to tank, it's this one. We can't even have fans at Ford Field, and that's true.
Yeah.
If I'm ownership, I'm thinking about that to myself.
Yeah.
That it's harder to tank when you've got people spending a bunch of money to come to your games, and I don't want to say anybody's purposefully losing, but when you're putting your team in a position to possibly lose, that's harder to do when you've got, hundreds of thousands of dollars a game coming in. Booing your product and booing you. But now, really this is kind of the perfect year to do it.
Right. But the problem, and the other side of it though is with the jacked up college season, like we said, what are you getting out of the draft? Who knows what you're getting out of there, right? I mean, you don't have good good. Even Trevor Lawrence, as much as people love him, I haven't seen him play this year, so he's getting some time in, I guess, and you'll get some extra film on him. But you see a lot of players do great their rookie year, and then their senior year they kind of disappear, right? Every college season starts out with the consensus number 1 overall draft pick and ends with somebody different being the consensus number 1 overall draft pick. So the college season not happening and happening the way it is just throws. While it's ideal to tank right now and set yourself up for next year, you're tanking to gamble, to go to the crap stable, right? And that's the ugliest way to do it. So. Oh, let's see. Green's mad because he had the pencil behind his ear. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me in the least if he's got the pencil, because he is what he is, right? He's a little bit of a caricature of himself at this point. So, all right.
So, Chris, actually, let me ask you a question for once. I never ask you anything.
That's because I talk too much.
If we're blowing this baby up, and you had to pick 3 players to get us top value during trade deadline, who do you trade? I'm not saying that we're going to get exactly what kind of picks you want, but who do you get rid of?
Yeah. This is going to be a highly unpopular, and this is not well thought through. So let me work through this. But the first person to come to mind is Matthew Stafford. Like I said, I love this guy to death, but what we're seeing from him is he's not the same guy. Now, I thought Matthew Stafford would be killer with the Jets. right? They're not going to do well. They need a quarterback badly. Give them Stafford, and but I thought they'd be more competitive, right? I thought that they'd want Matthew Stafford so that they could maybe make a run. You know what I mean? It's not looking like that over there in Jets land, but that's how I thought we could get his replacement, right? So that was the ideal place. Where do you put him now? I don't know. And then who do you replace him with? That's the big question. You get all kinds of draft picks, but you're not guaranteed to be able to replace them. So that's a scary one. Top 3, huh?
I've got people in chat saying Galladay, Marvin Jones, Kerryon Johnson.
I don't think you get anything for Jones. Galladay, I don't think you're going to get a whole lot because he's not on contract after this year, right? So it's a rental. You have to sign him and trade him.
Teams have been willing to do that, but it's a little harder. For sure.
So I'm not sure where his, look, again, he hasn't shown a whole lot this year to push his value up. Marvin Jones, I don't think anybody wants him. No Amendola, no Agnew. Ragnow's a guy you could get a lot of value for, but I don't want to let him go. He seems to be
he'd be hard to let go.
Yeah,
somebody would have to offer us a ludicrous bounty for me to.
Yeah.
But so
who's valuable enough to trade out, right?
Well, and so now thinking about that, does that just prove how talent devoid we are as a team?
Yeah.
Who would take who? We've got Stafford, Galladay, and other top picks that we'd be giving up on early. Somebody said Hawkinson in the chat. Do we give up on Hawkinson this early? That's hard to say, but pretty devoid.
And I wouldn't call it giving up, right? I'm just thinking, can you get more value in picks for him? And that's what I was trying to think about. You're not going to get a third for Jones. There's no way. Jones is not getting a third round pick. If Diggs couldn't get it, right? I mean, you're not getting a third for Jones. And Darius Slay, we talked about this earlier. He hasn't been doing so great in Philly either. He wouldn't be, superstarring it here by any stretch right now. So, Swift, no. Okuda, I mean, no. You're right. There's not a lot of value. What we've done though, and this is one thing, the old Lions teams had no depth. We had, like you said, we paid 3 players a boatload of money because of the rookie contracts at the time before the CVD. the CVA changed. CVD.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Before the CVA changed. And we were hosed. But we had 3 superstars and a team of guys that could never play anywhere else. Right? Now we have a team of average talent, but no real superstars, other than Stafford, who's not playing up to his status. Galladay's not a superstar. I'm just telling you, everybody loves him, and that's great. He's made some really big plays. He doesn't get that massive separation, right? That you want out of a wide receiver, and neither does Jones. Amendola does because he's a slot and he plays a slot, and by running routes very very well, and getting people to bite, he can get open. But we're devoid. We have a lot of trouble at wide receiver, and I think about a guy like what's his name? Patrick Mahomes again. I'm going to go back to him. He could float a ball in there, but with these guys, they have no separation. Every catch is contested. You need Matthew Stafford to sling a ball in there. So if you're going to bring another quarterback in, you need new wide receivers too. You need at least 2, and then you need defensive lines still, and you need linebackers. Then look out.
we need at least 13 new starters out of 22, and then we're good. And we're Super Bowl baby
bound. All right, Crosby. That might be somebody you could trade. There's a guy who's actually worked his way up and shown some real value. Offensive linemen are really valuable, good ones, right? There's all kinds of mediocre guys out there, and the athleticism of the defensive linemen these days just makes mediocre offensive linemen look like trash. So that is definitely a helpful piece. All right, let's round this out. We'll take any last minute calls that come in 248-782-8384, 248-782-8384, or via Skype, Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word. Final thoughts, Sandman. Heading into the bye week, are you going to tell me that we just need to heal up and we're going to come out and make a run the rest of the season? Is that that's what I'm expecting to hear from you?
Not only that, but
yes,
no, this team just is so up and down. In fact, the defense almost looks like it's regressed. This Saints team was not good. They still have Drew Brees. but they were missing their biggest playmaker in Michael Thomas. They were missing a bunch of defensive pieces. Their left tackle was out for like a quarter of the game. They lost their star right guard for the whole game. Still no pressure with those guys missing. I just don't see where this team can make headway with changes. So by that I mean when you change schemes slightly, maybe you say, okay, we're going to play a little bit more zone this week. I don't know if it matters because we don't have players that are making plays right now. We had another interception today, which was mind-boggling, but even that was kind of a semi-fluke because it was a batted ball. That happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see this team making any major improvements. The only improvement I could see happening that's going to put us back into games is Matthew Stafford coming out of his slump, if it is in fact a slump, and not a regression due to age / having his body beat to shit for 12 years.
Yep.
That's it. If Stafford gets better, we get better. I don't think, we're not missing any pieces that are going to come back and like, wow, this is really going to put us back. I think we are what we are. And I think that's the biggest indictment of Quinn and Patricia at this point.
Yeah. I'll say, good defenses get their hands up and bat passes, block passes, but evidently bad defenses do too. No, so those are great plays, right? Those are great defensive plays, and you give them credit for that. They deserve credit for that interception. It was a good play, good batted ball. They did everything right there. They definitely, what was it, 5 straight touchdowns, right? But I think those hurt less if Matthew Stafford's on this team and playing Matthew Stafford football, because so many of those drives stalled where they wouldn't have otherwise. They stalled because he missed passes and he overthrew. The one where he pointed Hawk in the end zone, he's like, go deep, right, go. And then he underthrows him, right? It's like for an interception. What are you doing? What the hell happened? Where was the arm, right? Mr. Third strongest arm in the history of football. Where's the power? Why are you underthrowing people or splitting the difference between 2 receivers in the same spot, right? It's if he shows up, this game's completely different. I really, really believe it. If Matthew Stafford's there this week, we have an excellent shot of winning this ball game. And he wasn't. He absolutely wasn't there. The defense is ass. We know the defense is ass. We knew this was going to be a shootout with the Saints, though, except we just weren't shooting. We were shooting blanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stafford to Denver. That sounds like a pretty good one. Maybe get a defender and some draft picks. That's a possibility. What else? There's one other point I was going to make before I close it off. Again, I'm going to say that I love Matthew Stafford. I love everything he's done for the city. I got to say it one more time because people, this is an emotional topic for some people. Love the man to death, but I also recognize value and when you can get value and when you can't. And what we're seeing from him tells us it may be time to extract the value and try to go in another direction. As much as I hate it, and as much as I wish, he could be, beginning of last year Stafford forever. It'd be great. But right now, I think it's time to pull some value out and see what we can do with it. I got to tell you, folks, about Fanatics. You may not want to get your Lions gear, but you may want to get your Big Ten gear because they're going to start playing soon, or hockey, or whatever else. Head on over to fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com, fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. You get hooked up with all of your real licensed gear. They give us a kickback. It's a beautiful thing. Fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. Amazon, exact same thing. Amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com. That's a great way to go. I can't talk yet. We'll just say, head on over there. Don't give Bezos all that money. He doesn't deserve it. Share it with us. It doesn't cost you any more. They just give us a cut of their profit, and then we'll pay taxes on it, unlike Amazon. Amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com. Head on over and do that if you're ever going to shop for anything there. Thank you for everyone for doing that, because you support the show by doing something you were going to do anyway. All right. So what was it? Say the name with Caldwell. What was the other shirt that came by? Because that was another one that I thought was a good one. I'm going to go through the chat again. Darn it. All right. There we go. All right, folks. We'll call that a show this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, sometimes therapy doesn't work. Sometimes it takes multiple meetings. This one's probably the hardest one to shake for me this year. This loss. More so than the Chicago game, because Chicago game was the first game of the season. I thought everybody was off their rocker over that one. But to quote Kevin in the chat, we may be bad, but we're not New York Jets bad. So I got that going for us, which is nice. All right, remember the show needs your involvement. Thank you everyone for super chatting and joining us today. Use the comments in the subreddit, give us your feedback, let us know what you think. Otherwise, bang those 5-star reviews in iTunes and all those places, those aggregators where we go. Don't forget about us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Don't forget about our new YouTube channel. Go to bit.ly/DLP clips, and we'll get a real URL here on that real quick. bit.ly/DLP clips. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. It gets everything that we talk about in nice bite-sized chunks, because sometimes you don't have all the time you need. Also, I said Patreon, right? Patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Facebook.com/The Detroit Lions Podcast. Twitter @DET Lions Podcast. Get on there and follow DET Lions Podcast. It's the very best place to see all Lions fans.
With no pants on.
That's right. All right, give us a call on Skype, Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, or on the Lions line, 929-33-LIONS. It's 929-335-4667. Leave a message. We'll get you on the regular weekly show. Also, go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast so we can show up in your ears auto-magically. Thank you for tuning in, and we're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no problems, because we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection.